practical examples so you can see the difference. People say to me, Dean, I've sent the messages, I've done the events, I've wrote the newsletter, but why is it not converting? Why is it not actually bringing me leads, conversations, and clients? Well, I'm going to walk you through and explain that this morning. So thank you for joining me. I am just literally going live on Instagram at the same time, so I was just waiting for that to kick in. So Apple phones, Apple has had its record sales for its iPhone 17. As you can tell, I'm a huge Apple fan. I'm not. I cannot even work out how to turn Bluetooth on and off on an Apple phone. I am Android to the core. But I want to explain a positioning, simplify positioning so that you can understand why maybe other people who do what you do are actually getting clients and closing and you're not. Or maybe you're not at the level you want. Now, I haven't got an Apple phone, but one of these here is an Apple phone and one of these is an Android phone, right? We'll just go with that. I know they're both Android, right? Technically speaking, right, Apple phones and Android phones are almost identical. And you Apple lovers here are going to hate me for this, but they are almost identical. And somebody's saying, Dean, clean your screen. I do need to clean the screen. Literally, the components, screen, the way these two phones are made are absolutely identical. There's not much of a whisper between them. But how they're assembled and how these phones are put together, the operating system, the way they work is fundamentally different. Now, if you were to compare these two phones actually in, just literally do a straight comparison, the comparisons even down to, an Apple phone looks different. It's still marginal. We're talking about 90%. These two phones, the Apple phone and an Android or a Samsung phone, are exactly the same. So why is it that Apple sells more phones? Because Samsungs are cheaper. Why do they sell more phones? Why can Apple charge more for its phones? And this is a really interesting example with the phones because everybody gets this. Everybody gets this when we externalize it to a phone. But when you convert this into, okay, this is you, your brand, your business, how do you differentiate yourself from everybody else? And here's the big deal. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. Now, there's a different buyer. For an Android phone or a Samsung phone and an Apple phone, it's a different buyer. The same service. It delivers the same thing. You can take pictures, you can send messages, you can surf the internet, you can go on social media, you can record videos. It does the same thing. But Apple's phones are fundamentally designed for a different market. And the way it works is designed for a different market. I like to be able to tinker and change my phone, and I don't like the fact that this is my terms. Apple thinks for me. I don't want you to tell me what to do. I want to do it my way. Whereas Apple simplifies everything and makes it easier, I want to be able to tinker and change things and do all sorts of stuff. So when we look at the phones themselves, when we think about your service is 90% the same as everybody else's. That puts you into a commodity territory. Yeah, and I see lots of people on social media promoting stuff that is literally the same as everybody else's stuff. If you want to actually differentiate yourself, you have to position differently. And that means going, who are we going to sell to? The people. What's the outcome they get from this service? What's the main outcome they want? Simplicity. Actually, Apple sells on simplicity and status. Apple's main selling point is simplicity and status. Samsung's is a bit more techy and featurey. So completely different audiences. The people who are simplicity and status don't really care about how this thing works as long as they get great pictures, their calendar's organized, they can get things to really easily, they can connect to all different things really simply. It's about simplicity. So actually the phone is the technical part of the phone, the components, the physical bit of the phone is designed to fit a certain group of people. That's the next thing. But the way they brand themselves, the way they position themselves, and the way they position the whole thing is that simplicity and status thing again, minimalism, all of that stuff. So you could think, actually, when you think about it, a lot of this stuff is nonsense. It's nonsense, isn't it? Because it's the same thing. But people don't buy for the same reasons. They might want the same outcome, but they don't buy for the same reasons. Positioning is the difference. So I would ask you, what's your unique approach, your methodology, your process, your IP of how you do it? The bit that makes you different from everybody else. I can call people on an Android phone or a Samsung phone, and I can call people on an Apple phone. There are differences. I can connect to speakers on an Apple phone or a Samsung phone. It's slightly different. It's been designed with a different person in mind. And what we often do, and it's a human nature thing, is to avoid the fear of losing, the fear of failing. What we do is we try to position for two very different audiences, three very different audiences, everybody. And what happens is our positioning becomes non-existent. There is no positioning. So then what happens then is nobody sees the need to buy it. You're actually just in the noise with everybody else. So this positioning piece of how you position yourself, not the technical features of what you do, because they're 99% the same, but how you do that becomes very important. That's why you'll see people talking about their methodologies and their processes to get to the result. So if people want the result and they buy into the way you do it, they can only buy from you. There is nobody else. If they buy into the outcome you're promising, simplicity and status with Apple, if they buy into that and they buy into the way you do it, they can't go anywhere else. And this is a big thing people miss about being on social. It's not just about being popular. It's not just about being, famous or getting engagement. It's about helping people believe, one, you can get them the outcome and your way is better than other people's, so that they prefer your way, your methodology, your approach to it. So fundamentally, and if you think about it, Gemini, OpenAI, Claude, they're all exactly the same underneath pretty much. But how they've been trained and how they've been developed makes them very different. So, Claude is good at copy. Gemini is quite good at research. ChatGPT is a good all-rounder. So this is where this positioning piece really becomes important for you, because if you go, and I would encourage you, go and look at what you're doing and going, what's my positioning? How is my way different from anybody else's? And, when you think about it, and this is the scary bit about human beings, technically, there might only be like 2 or 3% difference in an Apple and an Android phone. Only 2% difference. What's different is how they've done it. The materials are probably 99% the same. The components are 99% the same. There's not much difference between them. Now, you IT techie junkies are going to go, oh, well, actually, this will. In principle, they're pretty much the same. It's just the way they've done it that makes it different. It's the same features pretty much. So I thought I'd share that this morning because a lot of people wonder, why am I not selling? Why is it not converting? It's because you're not getting people to buy into your way. You're educating, you're giving tips, you're giving tricks. You're saying, this is what I do, but you're not getting people to buy into your way to get to a place that they want to be. And if you look at Apple's marketing, very rarely do they talk about the features of the phone. They show you living a better life. Think about that. They don't show you often what the phone does. They show you how it makes your life better. Because that's why people buy. They buy something for an occasion. When I just had to go buy a suit, and I put the suit on, I thought, I like how it makes me look, but I also imagined the places I'd wear it. I actually wore the jacket yesterday. So I imagined the places I'd wear it. So was I buying the suit or the place? Think about that. Was I buying the suit or the place? Are you buying the phone or the lifestyle? When you buy a cup of coffee, are you buying the coffee, or are you buying the image that it reinforces? So our whole identity is wrapped up with what we buy. It's really important to remember this. Even in B2B, our identity is wrapped up in what we buy, because selling is not logical. It's emotional. It's full of all these weird decisions. So I thought I'd share that this morning. If you like this, I'm going to start doing more of these. So please tune in for them wherever you watch me, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. But think about it. If I put you up against your competitor and I said, let's compare them, would your audience, your target audience, be able to say, I prefer that one? And why would they say they prefer that one? If you come down to, well, they're a nice person, that's not positioning. That's not positioning. Why would somebody choose you over somebody else? It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And so I'd encourage you to start thinking about your methodology and your approach so that you can actually sell that. So when people are bought in,